Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Definition, and this is the channel where we explain it so you don't have to. If you checked out my recent Season 8 spoiler video, you'll know that I've previously covered some plot leaks in regards to episode 5 and 6 of the show. With episode 5 just releasing, we can now confirm that roughly about 50% of what was said in those leaks was true, and that overall, as a narrative arc, they were pretty accurate. Just as a follow-up on this, I thought I'd put together a list of the correct leaks, as well as what new ones have come forth about episode 6. Throughout this video, I'll be dropping all of the in-depth reveals that we have on the finale, as well as giving my thoughts on how legitimate I think that they are. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to potentially have the ending of the show ruined for yourself, then I highly suggest that you turn off now. We won't know if this is the case until we see for ourselves, so take everything with a grain of salt as always, but if you checked out the prior video, then you'll know that some of them were accurate, some of them weren't, so I thought I'd just put everything together in one video. Anyway, with that out of the way, huge thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy it. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into my breakdown of the Game of Thrones Season 8 spoilers. Okay, so just a quick recap. So the user that revealed the spoilers on Reddit was called Mr. Freeze Night King, and they were quickly banned after a lot of them appeared to be true. The main ones that turned out to be accurate in this episode were that Varys did end up turning on Dany after deciding that Jon would be a better leader, and that he was burned alive because of it. The user also correctly stated that Arya and the Hound would infiltrate King's Landing, whilst Daenerys set fire to the city after the Golden Company surrendered. In the Red Keep, Freeze Night King stated that Cersei and Jaime met up and died together, and that Arya was almost crushed under rubble. Whilst they stated that the Hound rescued her, and we know this didn't happen, they pretty much got the circumstances right and had the Hound killing the Mountain, with the two facing off this episode. The biggest thing though that of course came from the leaks was that Daenerys slowly became the Mad Queen. The user stated, and no, I didn't cover this in my episode, but I probably should have looking back, so don't thumbs down the video please. They stated that Jon Snow does not agree with the killing of soldiers that have surrendered, and this of course came up in the episode 2. Now going forward, Mr. Freeze Night King states that Jon Snow kills Dany in the final episode, and this leak is something that I 100% agree with. They say that it comes down to a choice between siding with his adoptive family or his blood one, and he chooses to stay with the Starks and thus has to betray Dany in the process. Everyone is incredibly angry at her after episode 5, including Tyrion, who's mad that she caused Jaime's death, and though it wasn't intentional, he's still pretty annoyed at the whole situation, and he throws down his hand pendant at her. This is because she's arguably worse than Cersei, and they say that Dany's death apparently happens in the throne room of King's Landing, with the character collapsing against the throne as she passes away, which symbolically shows that she did eventually make it, though her anger stopped her from sitting on it. According to the leaks, Drogon is still alive at this point, but instead of killing Jon, he just grabs her body and flies away. The leak says that this is because it recognises Jon as Targaryen, but I don't know if this will definitely happen in the episode, we'll just have to see. This does however fulfill the original vision that Dany had in season 2 of a throne room with snow around it. Also in the episode, Jon sees Arya as a faceless one, and this is a pretty big reveal for the character. Now, the producers of Game of Thrones shot multiple endings for the show, so it's a bit difficult to decipher exactly which one is true, but switching from my recent video, the creative team have apparently settled on the ending where Sansa becomes the queen. Jon still heads up back north and Bran rebuilds the wall using his magic. At this point, Jon reunites with Ghost, and this is meant to be the part where he finally pets him. Yay! Been waiting for that for so long. Anyway, this seems to be a more likely ending than the Bran one, and we still have the show closing with Jon discovering a spiraling circle of bodies that shows that the White Walkers will be back eventually, though we don't know when. I actually think that this signifies that there will always be a need for a Stark on the throne to fight the White Walkers, and that they will rise up every couple of thousand years to return to fight the living. It does leave some questions, and obviously you should still take this all with a pinch of salt, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on these leaks and if you think that they will happen. There's quite a lot of people angry with how the show's been going for the final season, so of course I'd love to see what people think of it and if this will rectify it for them. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it, and make sure you check out my full breakdown of every episode in the season so far, including all of my fan theories, which will be linked in a playlist at the end. We've also just launched some merch on the channel, so if you want to support videos like this and get some free clothing out of it, make sure you click the boxes in the description. It goes a long way and I massively appreciate everyone who picks one up. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Definition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. You've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.